Okay, welcome everyone. As we learn the Mishna Yomis for this Sunday evening, Triple Crown tonight, we had a daf and a chok, and now we're learning the Mishna Yomis with the 8th parak, the 4th and the 5th Mishnayos in the 8th parak of Masechtas Gittin, and we are dedicated the Nishmas Rav Moshe ben Rav David L'fu Shalema for Eliyahu Moshe Mechayesar and the Schus of Rav Yom Ben Shema Malki Yudis and family. We learned, sponsored by the Fisher family, Nishmas Basi Bas Rabbi Shlomo ben Avram Alevi, Pel Bas Ruvain. We are also dedicated by Yoel Klugman and family for their Nachas and Gesundheit and Parnasa, and L'fu Shalema for Avigdor Aryeh ben Rivka and Meir ben Chayesara, and Shimon Yehuda ben Gittin. They should have a refuah shalema b'sei shachar Yisrael. We're in the 8th parak with the Mishnah Daled and Mishnah Hey. Mishnah Hey is a very long Mishnah. Beishama yoimim poiter adam ishtei beget yashin. That means he could write a get on Monday and be alone with his wife, secluded on Tuesday, and give the get on Wednesday. Now, you know what? Let's not say that it. Let's not say that it's even if it's not a different date. But let's say he wrote a get in the morning on Monday, and then they were alone, and he gave the get later on that day. So Beishami Yomim Paitim Adam Ishtay Beget Yashin. He could use a old get, even though they were nisyached with one another in between the writing of the get and the delivery of the get. Beisil Oisrim, Beisil prohibits it. The Ezel Get Yashin, what's considered an old get, Kol Shen Nisyached Ima Acher Shiksavala. He was alone with her after he wrote it for her. Now, the reason why Beisil says you don't do it is because we're afraid that they wrote the get for Monday, and then he was alone with her, and maybe they slept together. Then they'll give the get, and then she'll become pregnant, and she'll have a baby, and people will see the date of the get and say that the baby was born out of wedlock. Now, even though the baby that's born out of wedlock is kosher, but people might not want to marry the person. And therefore he says you shouldn't give such a get. Beis Shammai says that Beis Shammai is of the opinion that you only give a get if there's found matzah ervas davar, where there was a shash of adultery. And there, Beis Shammai says in such a case the husband will be so disgusted with her, so we're not worried that he's going to be intimate with her, so therefore he's not worried about it. Beis Hillel says you could give a get even if there isn't a shash of a davar shel erva, and therefore he's afraid that he might have slept with her and become pregnant with her, and then give the get, and later they'll say that the get was given, the baby was born after the get, and people won't want to marry the child. If, let's say, the person is in Bavel, and he writes, Kosav l'shum malchus she'eino genes, and instead of dating it according to the reigning king of Bavel, he dates it according to the malchus she'eino genes, which is the Roman monarchy, or the Shum Malchus Madai, or the Mede monarchy of Medes, or the Shum Malchus Yavim, or the Greeks, or the Binyan Bayis, according to the dates from the building of the temple, or the Churban Abayis, or the destruction of the temple. Hoyba Mizrach, if he was in a city to the east, because of Amarv, and they wrote a city to the west, Bamar, because of Mizrach, in the west, and wrote a city to the east. Teitzei Mizeh Mizeh. He has to leave. She has to leave the second husband. And if she goes back to the first husband, she has to leave the first husband. Now, the reason what's going on over here is that this get is really good midoraisa, and therefore she's divorced from the first husband and married to the second husband. But since it's disqualified midrabanan, so therefore the second husband is adultery midrabanan, because it's disqualified midrabanan. If the first husband takes her back, then it's adultery midoraisa, because really the get was good, and the marriage with the second husband was good, and therefore it's adultery midoraisa. So she has to leave both husbands. Utzricha get mizeh mizeh. She needs a get from both husbands. She needs a get from the second husband midrabanan. No, excuse me. She needs a get from the second husband midoraisa, because really the get was good midoraisa, and her marriage with the second husband is good. And she needs a get from the first husband midrabanan. Ve'eno lo ksuva, she doesn't get a ksuva from either of them. V'lo peiros, there's no rights of usufruct. And if they ate the peiros, they don't have to give it back to her. V'lo mezenis, they don't have to support her. V'lo belois, she can't claim back her worn clothing. Lo alzeh from either of them. And in not lemizeh mizeh, if she took it from either of them, tazer, she has to return it. V'avlad mamzer mizeh mizeh. The vlad is a mamzer from both husbands. It's a mamzer from the second husband midrabanan. It's a mamzer from the first husband midoraisa. V'lo yizeh v'zeh metamin lo. If they're kahanim, neither of them could be metamin to her. V'lo yizeh v'zeh. Neither of the husbands are zakayin lo b'tziasah. Not with her fines, not with her handiwork, nor to annul her vows. If she was a Yisrael, she had a bia that was psula, so she's nipselas min hakuna, she's disqualified from kuna. If she's a bas levi, she's disqualified min a meiser, and bas kain, if she's a bas kain, she's disqualified min a truma. Ve'ein yoshev shel zeh v'yoshev shel zeh, and neither heirs Yoshin Ksuvasa, inherit her Ksuva, even her tais was Ksuva. The Imesu, and if either one of these husbands die, Achiv Shelzev, Achiv Shelzev, the brothers of the first husband or the brothers of the second husband, Cholzin, only do Chalitza v'loy miyabim and not Yibam. Shinui Shma, Ushma, if they changed his name or her name, or Shem Iroi v'Shem Ira, the name of his city, of the name of her city, again, Teitzeh Mizeh Mizeh, she has to leave the second husband. If she goes back to the first husband, she has to leave the first husband. V'kol hadrachim ha'elu ba, and all these lies, all these laws apply to them. We want to thank you for joining us and wish you a wonderful evening.